Thanks to the dedication of committed board members, our member resorts, industry partners, and California lawmakers, the California Ski Industry Association has been the voice for the ski industry in California and Nevada on a state and national level for 50 years. The Sierra Ski Areas Association started in 1969 with a focus on tramway safety order issues, the challenges of our roads, and the accuracy of snow reports. The strength of our unified voice led to our position of industry-wide leadership. Today, as Ski California, our mission is to support and serve the ski industry through advocacy and government relations, public policy, and collaborative guidance on industry objectives. We've been able to accomplish our goal in large part because of the active, enthusiastic participation of those who passionately work in our industry. Together, we have been able to think and plan long-term and advocate for all resorts and the wide range of issues that affect the industry.
We were able to accomplish legislative victories. In 40 years in the legislature, in the California State Legislature, we were there, I would say, 30, 40 times on pieces of legislation that were important to us. We only lost twice. We were able to become bigger than we were simply individually. And to me, being able to be part of that process and turning this industry into a catalyst for solutions, that's been the most rewarding.
You know, Ski California does what we as individual operators, for the most part, can't do. So I think that it brings everybody together to understand what issues are at stake in California. There have been many heavy lifting opportunities in the last, 40 years that I've been around, that without California ski industry, the industry would look very different, and it would not be better, it would be worse. So whether it's whether it's Bob Roberts and his 4 decades, now Mike Reitzell, the board, there's a lot of really smart people that are leading the industry in the California ski industry and doing all the things that nobody could possibly do independently. So without it, we would be infinitely worse off as an industry for sure.
The association and its member resorts have used their collective voice to achieve success on a number of key endeavors, especially with our government partners, including setting the industry standard with the adoption of avalanche blasting standards with Cal OSHA, and initiating legislation directing the Forest Service to convert annual use permits into long-term agreements.
Well, resorts on 1-year permits had a little bit of fear of investing in long-term development plans and return on investment and such, and it really gave resorts an opportunity to work with their finance, their bank, to say, look, we're going to invest in this asset, we're going to see a return. And it also put the Forest Service and the resorts sort of on the same page of having to work together to have common goals instead of the agency feeling like they're just purely monitoring and checking for compliance. It gave us an opportunity to work together on long-term planning and make better recreational experiences for everyone. So it was a great move.
With travel and tourism evolving, the association jumped into marketing and offered leadership in the development of the California Tourism Marketing Act, which created what now exists as Visit California, the state's $130 million tourism arm.
For most of our resorts, marketing was a local game. We worked with local markets in California. Once we began receiving international visitors, there was a focus changed. And early on, the state recognized that we could be somewhat influential and helpful, and so they gave us some assistance in the form of the publication. They said, why don't you guys put out a magazine and circulate it about your industry? And we did, and we started what was known as Ski the Californias.
You know, I think the Ski the Californias campaign brought a new level of awareness of marketing in general. You know, I started back in the late 1970s at Snow Summit, and there really wasn't a lot of, I guess you would call, sophisticated marketing even happening back then.
We were always very involved and very present with the formation of Visit California. We really got much more exposure than probably was due us based upon our size, and so that was really very beneficial for the ski industry.
Another pillar of the association is education. This is translated to technical, hands-on training courses in lift maintenance and operations that provide resort personnel professional opportunities to increase their knowledge and skills, share information, and build relationships. Education began with a maintenance conference in the 1990s and was recently rekindled with the instantly successful Lift Maintenance and Operations Education Conference.
I think what we're really hearing from participants of the ELMO conference, which we're so proud to have launched 2 years ago, is one, they really value the content, that it's relevant to their career and their growth. I hear a lot of, there's the camaraderie and there's the network, and I think that's a really big piece of it is, they feel like they're part of something, and they certainly feel honored in that, we're investing so much commitment into a really unique career in our industry.
In addition to the association's legacy of industry advocacy and providing educational opportunities, the safety of our guests is always paramount. In 2017, Ski California launched the Mountain Safety Guide, a first-of-its-kind, universal education piece for guests at all its member resorts.
Well, the Mountain Safety Guide, that is now really the standard across not only California, but for, I think, the rest of the ski industry has been looking at this and saying, this is a best practice that California's come up with. And it's not surprising, a lot of the best practices across the industry came from California.
Well, as an industry, we've always been focused on safety. And I think most recently with our Mountain Safety Guide, it was a wonderful initiative in that it was us as a large group of resorts with different goals, different ideas, different guests that we decided to get together and say we do all have one goal though, and that's to keep our guests safe. As we move forward, with safety being a core component of what we do, we'll continue to innovate and come up with new ideas. The Mountain Safety Guide was really just step one.
Change in our industry is something we're not only accustomed to, it's something we confidently adapt to. We recently rebranded our organization as Ski California, and as we look to the future, we know our original mission remains relevant. Together with our resort and industry partners, we will continue to promote skiing in California and enthusiastically support the next generation of leaders in our industry.
The complexity today is way beyond what it was 20, 30 years ago. But I'm confident that if as these people come in and do take these roles, and with their passion and with the way they see the world and understanding the challenges we're facing, that they're going to be just as successful, if not more, than we were.
This industry has always been about people and challenges. And the remarkable thing is that we have had such a pantheon of leaders, whether it's Dick Kuhn in Southern California, who operated in a very different kind of environment than Nick Badami, who had Alpine Meadows, or certainly Alex Cushing, who was the only person in the ski industry ever to be featured on the cover of Time magazine for bringing the Olympics to Squaw Valley. All of these very disparate personalities brought together, for me, and I think for the benefit of the industry, a lot of energy, a lot of business acumen, and a lot of seat-of-the-pants entrepreneurship, which has been just embedded in me for the last 40 years.
The thing that will never change about skiing is the passion for the industry. I think that will always exist, and I think as long as we've got that, I think that the next 50 years and the next 50 years after that are going to be fantastic.